Health Nuts, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Gonsalves, and today I am sharing 15 fall food favorites that I look forward to buying every single year around the fall season, and I think you guys definitely need to pick up and try for yourself if you have not tried one of these. So originally I was only going to do a list of 10, and then it quickly started building up. So now we have a roundup of 15 items, but they're honestly so good. So let's hop right in. So I have a pile of foods here on my counter. I'm not gonna do this in any particular order, so this isn't like my favorite to least favorite. We're just gonna jump right in and I'm gonna start showing you my fall favorites. First favorite is, of course, pumpkin. Fun fact, I used to not like pumpkin growing up, but now I'm in love with it. It's delicious, both sweet and savory, whether roasted or in a pie. And this is actually wet from being outside on my porch, which if you saw my fall home decor video, that'll be linked down below. But this is actually a pumpkin pie, so you can eat it and make pumpkin pie out of it. I'm using it for decor. Chloe had the most confused look on her face. That's what it's called. Pumpkin pie. No wait, pumpkin pie, pumpkin. Oh, okay. That's what it is. So I'm using it for decor right now, but who knows, I can turn it into a pie once I'm done using it for decoration. But to make things easier, if you don't wanna hack that open and roast it to use for pumpkin pie, you can just buy some organic pumpkin puree. This is great too. I usually look for just pumpkin, don't get the pumpkin pie filling. If you're gonna make pumpkin pie, guys, get my recipe. I got pumpkin squares and a pie. I'll link it down below. It's super easy. You can control the sweetness in it and the flavors, and honestly, homemade pie just tastes way better in my opinion. So I got a lot of cans. These are from Trader Joe's, but you can get them from anywhere, and usually just look for a sale and stock up because you can put them in oatmeal, smoothies, pasta sauce. There's so many uses for pie, pureed pumpkin, not just for pies. Next up, of course, I could not forget about squash. I have a lot of squash actually. Oh my goodness, I can't. Okay, I got 4 different types. Usually I don't have this many, but we're actually filming some food recipes after this haul. And this here is an acorn squash. I have a really delicious roasted acorn nourish bowl in the HealthNut cookbook using this guy here. So good. You can leave the skin on, it roasts up really nice. This, I believe, is a buttercup squash. This is really good in soups. Butternut squash is good in soups too. And then my all-time favorite, which I discovered a couple of years ago just randomly, and I'm obsessed, and it only comes out during a certain period of time in the year, and that's delicata squash. It's so good. It's easy to cut because a lot of squashes can be really tough. This is easy to cut, and the best part is you can leave the skin on, and the skin almost gets like really crispy, and I don't know, it's so good. You don't need to peel it. This one here is organic, so if you are gonna eat the peel on your squashes, try to get organic. But they're just so good, and just squashes are so good for you. They're nourishing, and they're just like that perfect comfort food that you want during the colder seasons. Next up, we have some artichokes, which I feel like don't get enough love. I should have added this into my underrated foods video. If you guys did not watch that, you definitely should. These almost made the cut. I just think that they're so good. They don't get that much love in Canada. Anytime we're in the States, I feel like you can always get roasted artichoke as an appetizer. They are kind of a pain to make, but I saw these and they were just beautiful. They're really big. It's hard to find really nice ones, but this is the time of year to get them. And I like to steam them and then roast them and then dip them in some lemon garlic aioli. It's so good. You can also do stuffed artichokes, like you actually peel these back and stuff them. I have not done that yet, but that might be something I do with these guys, but they're just like, they're fun and they're delicious. And I don't know, Matt is not the biggest fan of artichokes, but he just doesn't see the point because there's a lot of work involved for little reward, but it's so worth it in my opinion. Next up, I have, this actually has 2 names. Some people call it broccoli rabe, others call it rapini. I call it rapini, and basically it's almost like it's a bit bitter. It's kind of like Swiss chard meets broccoli. There's like actual little broccoli heads on here, and I usually will, so you can see a little broccoli guy there. And this is so good, just sauteed with some garlic, salt and pepper, and olive oil on the stove. Big Portuguese dish that we have in our family is, I don't know the actual name of it, what it's like translated in English, but basically it's mashed potatoes with rapini mixed up into it, and it's so good. Something about the really creamy mashed potatoes with the slight bitterness of rapini is just a really good combination. We will be having this at my Thanksgiving this year since we're hosting, and it's just really good. And I like to remove the stems and just eat mostly the leafy parts and the little broccoli heads, and it's so good. It's bitter, but like when you cook it, it really just kind of softens up, and it's good for your liver because bitter things are good for the liver and detoxifying. And yeah, so bitter greens, get your hands on them. Okay, this next item is something I, growing up, looked forward to every single September because I always knew it came out near my birthday. So my birthday just passed, it was on September 28th. And these are CONCORD grapes. So these are basically the grapes that they make Welch's juice out of. And when you eat them, they taste like real grape juice. They are so sweet, so flavorful. I love them. They almost have like a little bit of a cloudy skin to them. The skin is very thick and sour, but inside it's so sweet. Usually there's seeds in them, but I don't know. They're like grapes. I don't mind that there's seeds in them because they're so good. And I used to do this really weird thing when I was a kid, and sometimes I still do it, is I like pop out just the inside and not eat the skin, which is so wasteful, I know, but that was a bad habit. I just go through them so quickly. But now I'll eat the skin too. But yeah, it's just like tart sourness with the sweetness inside. It's really good. So if you haven't tried these, get them. I'm not even a huge grape person, but these are the best. Next up, we have a pomegranate. So these usually I'll eat more closer to December, but I would say fall. I think the first day of winter is like late December. So fall runs pretty late into like the colder months, and I love pomegranate. It's great in salads, it's great on oatmeal. It's actually really good on oatmeal if you haven't had that. And it's just like a really fun food to eat. I mean, there's so many different ways to open it. I know some people are intimidated by opening a pomegranate and you don't want to like stain all your clothes, but it's delicious and it's worth the effort of opening it up. And you can even buy frozen pomegranate already deshelled or seeded, and it's really good. It's beautiful, it's full of antioxidants, and it just has this beautiful like burst of sweet tartness, and it just reminds me of this time of year. The next thing that I tend to really only buy around this time of the year are cranberries. So I have two kinds here. These are fresh, these are dried, and if you're gonna get dried, this brand in particular is so good, guys. It's by Patience Fruit and Co. And they're so good. I think that's the name of the brand. I'll link these down below. These are the best dried cranberries I've ever had in my life. They're not even dried, they're like rehydrated. They're so good. And then the same company, you can buy the fresh ones. So these are really good in baked goods. So you can make like an orange cranberry loaf or muffins. You can make cranberry sauce, make it homemade, because then you can control the sugar and actually put some like real sweeteners in there, like maple syrup and stuff. And yeah, it's something I only buy around this time of year, but when I do, I get excited and it's something that I crave and I love to have. These are like candy. You need to try these. Next thing, of course, are apples. It is the time for apple pie, and my favorite kinds of apples are like the really crisp ones. So Fuji apples, Pink Lady apples. I think these are Pink Lady. These are organic, so anytime I'm eating the skin to a fruit or vegetable, I like to get organic when possible. And the best part is when they're in season, they're also the cheapest. So even if you're buying organic, it's usually a much better price than buying organic apples not in season. So these are delicious. I actually want to go apple picking, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it this season, but if not, I'll just buy them at the store, and they're delicious. And I just like to eat them with nut butter and stuff, but I have quite a few of them, so maybe I'll make an apple crisp or pie or something, but I might just eat them as is. And Cashew loves apples too, so we got some extra for her too. Next up, I have Brussels sprouts. These are Matt's favorite. Like, he always wants me to buy these, and yeah, I'm the one that ends up cooking them, but he loves them. I think we got these at Costco, so it's a nice big pack of them, and these are really good. You can shred them. I have a really good shredded Caesar salad in the HealthNut cookbook that uses Brussels sprouts. You can also, I have recipes on the blog for roasted ones, and so whether you shred them or you roast them or you steam them, they're really good. And I know Brussels sprouts are one of those foods that a lot of kids don't like growing up. I loved them. I still do, and you just have to like cook them the right way, give them a little love, don't overcook them, and have a really good dressing as well. And I just think they're delicious, and they're really good for you. So yeah, we got a big pack. We're gonna have to make something with them. Matt also loves to put like bacon on them and stuff. Obviously bacon makes everything good, but just with like a Dijon honey balsamic kind of dressing, they're really good too. So Check the blog, I have some recipes for using Brussels sprouts. P.S. Fun fact, it's Brussels sprouts. A lot of people don't know, like Brussels has an S. Did you guys know that? Right? And Chloe's like, what? I'm not even gonna say it. I know you're the worst at spelling, so I'm like, that's the least of your worries. Next up, we have beets. Now, I feel like some people don't like beets because they think it has an earthy taste. I think it's delicious. You can roast it. You can just grate it raw into a salad or steam it. You can buy already steamed ones and just chop them up and put them into a salad. And yeah, I really like them. And you can actually saute the greens as well. I've done that maybe once or twice. I usually just end up composting them, but you can saute them. You could probably add them into a smoothie. It might be a little bit bitter, but they almost look like Swiss chard. And yeah, they're really good for you. And I just love having them around this time of year. I don't go through too many of them because I think a little goes a long way, but they are really delicious and I usually try to pick some up. Next up, we have this beautiful cauliflower. Now, I don't normally buy purple cauliflower, but I saw this at the store and I just had to buy it. Like, this is beautiful. It always amazes me how vibrant just colors in nature can be. Like, this looks like there's food coloring on it. I promise you, it's organic. This is just how it grew, and I think it's beautiful. So, you know, whether you're getting purple, fancy cauliflower or just the white one, they have so much nutrients in it, and I love that cauliflower is getting more recognition and just people are loving it more because there's just so many ways to eat it and enjoy it. And I love that cauliflower is the new kale because I feel like kale was getting all the love, but cauliflower, guys, roasted, you can do some yummy breadcrumbs on it or like nutritional yeast to make it cheesy. You can make cauliflower wings. There's so many uses. Cauliflower rice, you can put this into soup, make cauliflower mashed potatoes. The list goes on. This would be cool as mashed potatoes, purple cauliflower mashed potatoes. Anyways, it's beautiful. It looks like a little bouquet and I just love getting these kind of hearty vegetables around this time of year. Next up, I have leeks, which I love making leek and potato soup. If you've not made my soup for that, I'll have a link down below. It's so good. I think it's Matt's favorite soup that I've made to date. It's his favorite soup in general, but I would say mine's pretty good. And they just have so much flavor in them. They're a part of the onion family, I believe. And when these are sauteed, whether in soup or in a stir fry or something, they're so flavorful. I love them and I think that they don't get enough love, and I'm actually probably gonna make a leek parsnip soup. I haven't made that before, but I have some parsnips and these need to be used up. As you can tell, the ends are getting a little sad looking. But yeah, these are so good. You wanna make sure though that you are only really using, like, you can chop that off and compost it, cut it down the center and clean out the layers because they get very sandy inside. And then I just kind of chop them up and saute them like onions. They're a little bit of a heartier onion, so you wanna saute them longer, but they're really, really good and you definitely should try them out. Next up, we have some cabbage. So this one in particular is called Napa cabbage, and this one's really good in soups. You can also just stir fry it. I really like putting cabbage in soups because, you know, sometimes you want to switch it up from just kale and other collard greens, but this is super flavorful. I love the texture, and I believe this is what's in kimchi too. They usually use Napa cabbage. So super fun, delicious, and just something I don't get all year round, but I thought I would pick up to put into some soups. Next up, we have chestnuts. This is something I only get around this time of year. They're kind of a pain in the butt to make, like the artichokes, but they are so, so good. And I'm still trying to perfect the best way to make them that makes them easy to peel. But I'm telling you, it is totally worth the effort. These are so good. These are really nice big ones too. I got them at the health food store. So I feel like they're gonna be really delicious. But you know, sometimes people think of them as more like a Christmassy food because they're like in, what's that Christmas song? Chestnuts roasting on open fire, that one? Well, you can have them in the fall time too. And they're really, really good. So yeah, if you haven't made them before, definitely Google or watch some YouTube videos on how to make them because you gotta do them right in order to like properly cook them and peel them. So yeah, do some research, but they are good. Or find someone who knows how to make them because usually my stepdad makes them really good. Usually I just show up when he's making them and then I eat them all and they're so good. Last but not least, I have Mr. Kale. So this one here is black kale. And yes, I eat kale pretty much all year round, but I feel like I eat more of it, more like of these hearty greens during this time of year. So I might swap out my baby spinach in my smoothies for some hearty kale, and I've actually already been doing that, and it's so good, and I just think that I play around with it more in different types of dishes. So yeah, pick up some kale. It's like so vibrant, like this color is beautiful, and if you just massage it and stuff, it makes it easier to eat. You can put it in salads, soups, smoothies, like everything. It's amazing. Who doesn't love kale? Actually, a lot of people don't love kale, but it's good, and I will have some recipes linked down below that you can use like a few different of these ingredients in. All right, health nuts, there you have it. Those are my 15 fall favorite foods, and I would love to know what is like one food that you look forward to around this time of year. Leave it down below, and if you guys aren't already subscribed to this channel, you can click that red subscribe button down below. It's totally free, and I post new videos every single week. And like I said, I'm gonna have some recipes using some of these ingredients linked down below to get you guys inspired and help you kick off your fall cooking. Also, if you aren't already subscribed to our newsletter, we send out weekly newsletters. We have sometimes bonus content on there, discounts, you get a recap of any content or videos you might have missed. It's a fun time, and it's like the VIP fam is on the newsletter. So you can sign up, it's also free, and yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video, and have a fabulous fall season. Bye, guys.